When you hear the name Michael Phelps, what comes to mind? Probably some crazy, complex, superhuman formula for success, right? I mean, he's the most decorated Olympian of all time. But what if I told you the protocol behind his 28 Olympic medals was actually something any of us could use? Yeah, okay, let's dive right in.
And get this, that's a quote from the man himself. My career wasn't rocket science. I mean, wow, this quote is basically our starting block for today. It completely flips the script on what we think it takes to be great. He's not talking about some secret, unobtainable talent. He's talking about consistency, simplicity, just doing the small things well.
So, the big question is, what is this simple framework that powered 28 Olympic medals? Well, that's what we're going to break down. We're going to look at the exact two-part protocol Phelps used. And it's not just about dominating in the pool, it's also about how he found peace outside of it. And it all kicks off with a really simple three-word idea.
All right, so let's get into Act 1, the protocol for peak performance. Think of this as the external game, the stuff you do to achieve your goals. And the foundation for it all is something you can literally start using today. It's just 3 steps: dream, plan, reach.
Sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But think about it. Step 1, you gotta have a dream. You need to know what you're aiming for. But you know, a dream without a plan, that's just a wish. So step 2 is plan. You have to create a super detailed roadmap to get there. And then, finally, the most important part, reach. You have to commit. You have to actually take that first step, even if it feels a little scary.
And here's the key, the real secret sauce to this whole thing. You don't try to conquer the entire mountain in one go. No way. Phelps is all about simplifying. Break that big, scary goal down into the absolute smallest details you can think of. And then, just conquer them one by one. Take one small step at a time. That's how you actually start moving forward.
Okay, so you've got your dream, you've got your plan. But that's just the start. The next piece of this protocol, this is what really separates the champions from the dreamers. It's all about one thing: actions over words.
And this quote from him just cuts right to the chase, doesn't it? If you're not doing the things that it takes, then all it is words. I mean, talk is cheap, right? If your daily habits, the things you do every single day, don't line up with your goals, then your goals are just empty words. You have to actively give yourself a shot at succeeding.
This really just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got intentions. We've all been there, right? Oh, I've been meaning to start that. But on the other side, you've got actions. And Phelps's mindset just slashes right through all the excuses. His whole thing is, stop meaning to and just go do it. Especially on the days you don't feel like it. Actually, those are the most important days.
So, how long does this take? Well, according to Phelps, the magic number is about 30 days. He believes it takes a solid 30 days of consistent action to build a new habit or, to break an old one. You stick with it for a month and it just becomes second nature. It's automatic. You're not even thinking about it anymore.
And this is the ultimate accountability check. It's so powerful. If your goals are something that matter to you, you'll never have an excuse. Period. Just think about that. If you catch yourself making excuses, Phelps would basically say, well, maybe that goal just doesn't matter enough to you. Because when something is truly, deeply important, the excuses, they just vanish. End of story.
And the result of all this relentless, no excuses, action-first protocol, well, 28 Olympic medals, the most in history. You can't really argue with that, can you? It is undeniable proof that for achieving those big, external goals, his system flat out works. But, and this is a really big but, this is where the story takes a sharp turn, because while Michael Phelps was conquering the entire world, he was fighting a much, much harder battle inside his own head. So what happens when being the best in the world just isn't enough? And that brings us to Act 2, the second, and you could argue equally important part of his protocol, the one for personal peace. Now we're talking about the internal game. This is all about the huge realization that just gritting your teeth and working harder, well, that's not the answer to everything.
For years and years, this was his go-to coping mechanism, compartmentalization. He'd take all that pressure, all the anxiety, all the depression, and he'd just shove it down. Just push it into a box and ignore it. But the thing is, those feelings don't just disappear. As he puts it, eventually they erupt, like a volcano.
And then he had a breakthrough. And it came down to this one simple phrase: it's okay not to be okay. That was his lifeline. That was the turning point.
It was this powerful realization that he didn't have to be this superhuman swimming machine 24/7. Just allowing himself to admit that he was struggling, that was the very first step toward actually healing.
And once he embraced that idea, it led him to a completely new mindset, a new section in his protocol, really. He discovered that true strength isn't about pretending you're invincible. It's not about hiding your struggles. It's about having the incredible courage to actually face them head on.
So what did he do? He built himself a new toolkit, a self-care checklist. And just look at how practical and real these things are. We're talking about seeing a therapist, journaling, talking to his wife, calling a friend, even stuff like a men's support group, getting in a cold tub, or using an infrared sauna. The point is, it's not just one magic bullet. It's a whole combination of things: professional help, personal connection, physical practices that help him manage his mental health day in and day out. In this quote right here, it just completely redefines what it means to be vulnerable. He doesn't see it as a weakness at all. In fact, he sees it as the absolute requirement for growth. Think about it. You can't really change, you can't get better if you're not willing to be open and honest about where you are right at this moment. And that has led him to his new mission in life. I mean, listen to this. Saving a life is way bigger than winning an Olympic gold medal. Wow. The protocol for performance? That gave him a cabinet full of medals. But the protocol for peace? That gave him a purpose that he now believes is so much more important. For Michael Phelps, the very definition of winning has completely changed.
So as we wrap this up, the Phelps protocol really leaves us with a powerful question for ourselves. It's not just about what you want to achieve on the outside, it's also about the peace you're trying to find on the inside. So ask yourself, what is the most important thing that you are reaching for? What's your gold medal? And what's your personal peace?